Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcasts and Such, where right now we're covering Mob Psycho 100, 2 episodes at a time. I'm Jay.
And I'm Luke.
Today we're covering episodes 5 and 6 of Season 1, Ochimusha, Psychic Powers and Me, and Discord to Become One.
We sure are.
We sure are. But yeah, we finally get a little into this mini arc with Teru as the boss of the arc.
There's the boss. Yeah,
I mean, like as in the person to fight.
sure. Does that mean any arc, like anytime you fight a character, that's some sort of arc?
I don't know. I mean, that's what the wiki said this arc was, is the Teru arc. It's 2 episodes long.
2 episodes long?
Yeah, like I
it?
said, these arcs are short.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, like even like I said last episode, sometimes they divide up episodes 1 and 2 as separate from episode 3, 3 being its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot happens in these 2 episodes here.
Mm-hmm.
See how much you remember.
Yeah. My disc is still at 100.
Oh, fun. Well, you haven't been cutting out though, so I think knock on wood, I think it will be fine.
Okay.
By the way, listeners, we have been talking for 3 hours prior to this.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll make me a little more loosey goosey and better at this.
Loosey goosey. That's right.
Yeah, maybe.
Ready to just.
All right. Yep. So I guess something interesting to bring up is that so before this it was just heavily implied in the intro, but now the outro, but now it's confirmed that Mob has known Reagan for quite some time.
Yeah? Is that what was confirmed here?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, unless you didn't find that to be confirmed by the outro, but
What in the outro would suggest that?
at the near the end of the outro, when before he grabs Mob by the shoulder, we see a young Mob grow to be Mob currently.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so, but now we have, confirming a flashback between him and Reagan, of Reagan telling him the whole knife thing.
Right. But was he a kid?
Yeah, he was like young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know he was a kid in the incident,
yes.
where his brother was like hurt or whatever.
Yeah, so he was a kid in the flashback with Reagan. It's young. He was wearing like an elementary school uniform or whatever.
Interesting. Okay, because like I'm remembering the scene where it shows obviously to me it was obvious it was Reagan telling him, not to use his powers on people or whatever.
Yes.
But it's like his face is like shrouded.
Yeah, I refer to that as the absent father lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they reveal it's Reagan, and Dimples goes like
kind of ruins it when you find out it was Reagan who said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, but that was like a young Mob was looking at him.
Okay.
Because he said, and what do we not do with knives? And little Mob says, point them at people.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But so so that whole metaphor thing is interesting to me because and I'll just vaguely talk about this since you haven't seen season 5 of My Hero Academia. But one character tells another essentially the same thing.
To not point knives at people?
Well, that quirks are like knives, and the emphasis here in My Hero was the neutrality and utility of knives.
Mhm.
That you can use them to hurt people, yes, but you can also like cook things or whatever.
Mhm, mhm.
So essentially, this character was telling another, no, your quirk isn't bad, it's neutral, it's just how you choose to use it.
Mhm.
But I
Int
think Mob is very, very focused on the hurting aspect of knives,
Right, right,
the not pointing it at people thing.
right. He doesn't really understand or, um because he doesn't use his powers a ton, even though
Yeah, yeah,
perhaps there's some utility to them.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's just because I think he's just so afraid of them,
Mhm.
that you really gotta kinda twist his arm to use them.
Right, right. Interesting. Yeah, I thought a lot of the language in this episode was interesting around, like, Mob fighting with himself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a what was it? A feeble effort to conquer himself.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that part a lot. Um, yeah. Lots happened in this fight, finding out the whole him hurting Ritsu back in the day.
Yeah, I think this might be my favorite episode so far, the one where he fights,
Here.
Teru, yeah.
Yeah,
Teammate.
like, let me just say, like, going back and watching all these episodes, of course, I like all of these episodes and everything, especially with retrospect, but it was around this point that I was finally like, "Oh, okay, I'm starting to get why people like this show so much."
Yeah, yeah, because this is going much heavier on the, like, psychological angle of things,
Yes, yes. Oh,
you
yeah.
know, which I find more compelling, you know,
Mhm, mhm.
because I guess I was less interested in the Nicktoons style, you know, goofy kid is real goofy. People don't get him.
Sure. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but we've slowly, I guess, started to introduce the notion that strange kid is strange because he hates himself.
Yup, that's how you add, like, some real flavor to a character, get some self-loathing up in there.
Yeah, yeah, people love
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
self-loathing.
So, what did you think about, well oh, yeah, another thing I wanna bring up, is that, usually anime violence is not very visceral feeling, it's all very, cartoon violence, high fantasy,
Marvel
uh
violence.
yeah, Marvel violence, and, even if there's, like, a lot of blood in One Piece, but it's all, like, so surface level blood, um
Sure, that would be like maybe to compare like Tarantino blood sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
Tarantino
like
blood.
even though like maybe a maybe like a Django Unchained is a little more visceral.
Mhm.
Um, there's definitely like people just being blown to bits for
Yeah.
comedy, I guess.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So, so that kinda shonen violence is a little less visceral feeling, but, watching somebody get strangled almost to death
Yeah, yeah,
was like, "Whoa, what are we doing here? Whoa."
yeah. That was rough. Just the whole
Yeah.
scene, and uh, I was very I was uncomfortable with what's his face's character design.
Oh, Taylor's character design.
Yeah, yeah.
It
When he got his hair chopped off,
Yeah, yeah, oh, by the way, that is the titular, Ochimusha. Um
Ochimusha.
So Inochimusha is a disgraced deserter samurai, I believe,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's not the shaved head part that really indicates that, but the shaved head, grown out hair sides combo. Uh,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
that's why in the English dub they said I look like a middle-aged pencil pusher instead because we don't have that cultural touchstone here in America.
Okay. Yeah. I felt like there was another place where I'm remembering distinctly, but I
Hmm.
feel like there was another spot in this episode where they translated something for us that was slightly different than what they would actually say in Japan. I can't remember what it was now, though.
Was it the stuff from the? You might be mixing up the letters from the episode before. Uh,
Maybe
the "I abhor you" and "I adore you" thing.
that was something. Um, I feel like I remember something distinctly, but I can't remember what it is now.
The only thing I can remember being on screen this episode was like
It wasn't something on screen. It was
oh,
just
okay.
something that, like, just knowing a little bit about Japanese culture, I had like a moment where I was like, "Oh, they're probably talking about something else," but
Oh.
translating it. I can't remember what it is now, though, so maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I can think of is, like, for whatever reason, Mob calls Teru by his first name rather than Hanazawa here.
No, I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay. Hmm. I am
I think,
intrigued by what you thought.
I think I'm thinking about the next episode,
Oh,
um,
okay.
with the first scene with Reagan.
Oh, yeah, that scene makes absolutely no freaking sense in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, they coulda, pulled an Ace Attorney there and just made the dad from somewhere that doesn't speak English.
Yes, okay, yes, I remembered,
Okay,
because,
that's what
like
you're thinking about, okay.
because he said specifically in that scene, he was like, "Wow, Dad, when did you learn English?"
Yeah, yeah, and then
And then
then
he
he
said he
says,
was
"My
from
English is
Jersey.
pretty good."
Well, but then he said he was from Jersey,
Yeah,
which is an
it
English-speaking
makes no
place.
sense. Um, yeah, so yeah, so obviously in that scene, they were talking about speaking Japanese and English,
Right,
but they really could have just in Ace Attorney, no characters from the country that they're from in the original Japanese.
right.
For the most part, except for the fictional countries. So, like, all characters who are American are from Germany. All characters who are from Japan are American. So,
Mhm.
so that's they could have done something like that there to make that scene make a little bit more sense, or they could have done the choice of just saying that yes, I know you're hearing English right now, but we're gonna say we're speaking Japanese, and I would have been fine with that.
Okay,
You,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess what was do you know what the original joke was, or
The original joke is that he says, "Oh, Dad, I didn't realize you learned Japanese." Uh, and he tells Reagan, "Yeah, my dad was from New Jersey. He only spoke English." But he
Oh, okay.
tells Reagan, "Oh, but my English is pretty good. You don't have to speak to me in Japanese." And Reagan continues to speak to him in Japanese.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. And that just totally doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I d yeah, it was an interesting choice, this scene, to just very consistently keep using the word English the whole time.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that they basically did not change the joke at all.
Well, they basically didn't change the joke except that they said they were speaking English, and then, "Wow, Dad, I didn't know you learned how to speak English." And then he says, "But then my English is pretty good, so we can just speak that."
Right.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Why would
Uh,
they do that?
I don't know. Um,
Like, they
well,
didn't
yeah,
even
it goes on.
It's like they didn't even try.
Yeah, I that's well, it's funny, this is considered a pretty exemplary dub. A lot of people really like it, even people who don't usually like dubs.
Yeah.
Um, and this mistake is more amusing to me than anything else. If it were a more crucial scene, I'd be,
Hmm.
like, actually mad, but, like, yeah, it's like, it's funny how weird this scene ended up.
Yeah, yeah. It was still funny, for sure.
Oh, yeah, still a great scene, because it didn't really hinge on that joke specifically.
Yeah, it was more him punching the guy. That was the punchline.
Yeah. Fa fast food fighter Michael.
Hmm.
Mm. Well, and, I like that scene a lot because it's a good, contrast between, Mob and Reagan there, actually.
Hmm.
We get more into the next episode, but whatever, we'll do this out of order, I don't care. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so in that scene, when Reagan knocks that guy out, he says, "Oh no, the client's consciousness has logged out," which is such a hands-off way
Hmm.
to talk about knocking someone out.
Yeah, yeah.
But Mob almost takes too much responsibility for the things he does, because he was unconscious when he destroyed Teiru's school
Hmm.
and all that jazz, and it was also an accident that he shaved his head.
Right, right.
So, I think that Mob is just so uncharitable to himself at almost all times, especially in regards to his powers.
Hmm.
Um, we talked about this a lot the last episode, about how Mob seeing himself as ruining everyone's good time makes him seem kind of dense. But I think it just has to do with the fact that he's just having such a hard time seeing himself as the good guy, and also the fact that, he's having a public emotional outburst. That's just it's hard for him to see that in a good light.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess so we could segue back into the Teru fight.
Hmm.
What do you think of that shroudy black psychic energy entity that lives within Mob?
Yeah. So that was the explosion, right? He essentially, but they also differentiated it from the explosion because it was like
Yes.
question mark, question mark, question mark percent.
Yeah, that's fans either call it triple question mark percent, or the unknown percentage.
Hmm.
Though I mostly see it written down, so mostly people just type out triple question mark percent.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so yes, I would say they are different.
yeah, yeah. It's like yeah. I don't know that. Is that like? See, I'm thinking about it in regards to like the proposition of like the true and false self.
Mhm.
That dichotomist, like there is evil within ourselves that we want to differentiate from the parts of ourselves that we like, I guess, are less evil. I don't know.
Mhm. I think that's an interesting interpretation of this, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like question mark, question mark, question mark percent could be the darkness, I guess, inside of mob. I mean, you can question what creates that, or if that's inherent in people or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting was they also highlighted the difference between the question mark percent and regular 100% in this episode
Yes.
by having question mark percent destroyed the school, but then when mob regains consciousness and emotionally goes into his Super Saiyan mode, he
Mhm.
puts the school back together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that whole putting it all back together thing. Yeah, that's great.
But
Because
it's
I guess
funny because even though in his conscious state he fixed the mistake of his unconscious, you know, alter ego,
Mhm.
by putting the school back together, he still blames himself for the destruction of the school in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, well, in that conversation with Reagan, he's asking, is this self-defense? But he doesn't even mention that Teru was trying to strangle him.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like, makes no absolutely no mention of that, and I think
it is
what's
a
happening too
little.
matters.
It is a little above self defense.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you gotta bring those things up if you're gonna have that conversation.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the new mystery of the show, is what in the world is that comes out when Mob passes out or whatever.
What in the world is that?
Is the triple question mark percent or unknown percentage, whatever you want to call it, that's kind
Sure.
of I'd say that's kind of the new mystery of the show. First it was what's this meter mean, and now it's what is that?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's just like pure, unfiltered power,
Mhm.
which is interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess maybe something addressed at the beginning of the show,
Mm.
that like crazy battle scene at the start of
Yeah,
the show.
that little montage. Yeah, so now you kind of put that together that's the same thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems like it anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, man, another thing about that fight with Teru, man, I love the world's smallest, softest punches ever.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny.
Just sliding right down his face and like the sound design of it. I was just like, wow, that's just perfect.
It would be funnier if it weren't so sad.
Yeah. I like ambivalence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting 'cause, like, wasn't that where he was basically like all your attempts to improve yourself are futile?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, is that all you have? No matter what you do, no matter you said you started working out,
Yeah, yeah.
so you can't this is all you have."
Yeah.
Um, it's also like but I'm also sitting there like, "You have been depriving this boy of oxygen for quite some time now, Teru. I don't know if he's at his best right now."
That's true, but also, I mean,
Yeah. Mom's
his
also just very weak.
yeah, his punches would probably not pack much more.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, he's also like, but that's the point of improvement. It's not like, I can't measure myself by how I am now for my future potential.
Sure, but they're getting into that um sort of argument where it's like Teru and Mob are both afraid that their powers are all they're good for.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, yeah, and I guess Taylor was still in that kind of point of still putting all his eggs in one basket and
Mhm.
uh yeah.
It's a very like cemented maybe view of people.
Mhm.
It's like you've just got what you've got.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny when he exercised Mr. Dimples
Yeah.
and freaking Dimples. They just like did that montage of all the times and he talked about that girl's butt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a little creep, man. And Mob
Yeah.
thought the same thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, wait, that guy kind of sucks."
Yeah, I enjoyed that because I had a simultaneous sort of
Yeah.
moments of you know, maybe it's okay that he's gone. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a really good moment.
maybe
Yeah.
that's all right. That's yeah. We don't need him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a really good joke, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially because you go through the montage, and I'm sitting here like, am I supposed to be
Like
responding to
this.
this in like a, oh yeah, Dimples is gone kind of way?
Yeah.
But then you get to the end, and Teru says, "Are you really so upset that I, got rid of your little pet?" And Mom's just like, "No, not really."
Yeah, yeah, so his meter comes up again, and it doesn't move, just to show
Hmm.
that, yes, Mob was not lying, he really meant that he did not care.
Yeah, that
Um,
was great.
yeah. Which, yeah, I kinda like the whole meter as a built-in, Mob will remember this.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then, of course, he does circle back, he's kinda like, "Well, I mean, Terry kinda sucks here.
Hmm.
Maybe Dimple's a little better than him, I don't know."
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was funny.
It was very funny. It's bro, that's definitely the highlight, like, actual joke of the episode other than the world's smallest punches.
Hmm. The world's smallest punches.
Yeah, that's all I can think of every time I watch it. It's the world's smallest little punch.
Hmm. Good stuff.
Yep.
And then I liked the Body Improvement Club showing up at the end.
Yeah, yeah, because I think Tara's about to turn to Bob and say, "Wow, we really are the same. We are both friendless losers." And,
Hmm.
no, Bob's not like that anymore. He's improving himself. He
Hmm.
went out and made some friends.
Yes, that is cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, so at the end of the episode, Mob tries to communicate with Ritsu a little bit more, because
Hmm.
that's Mob's whole thing. He's not very communicative.
Communicative.
There we go. Uh, but he does finally kind of reach out in the end here. I guess with the whole, triple question mark showing up again and him recognizing that and that reminding him of hurting Ritsu. And so when he
Hmm.
tells Ritsu, "I'm sorry for that," Ritsu denies that that was Mob.
Hmm.
He says that was something else. That was not my brother.
Interesting. And is it ambiguous? Because like they sort of showed some scenes there,
Hmm.
um, where it seems possible that Ritsu might have been hurt by the bullies. I don't know.
No, I think that the
It's supposed to be pretty clear that Mob did it.
yeah, I think it is. It's supposed to be that uh yeah, because so they show that scene. Uh, did they show that scene like three separate times in the episode? Or oh no, but like when Ritsu thinks back on it in the end, when he's by himself, he remembers seeing Mob in the end, or at
Hmm.
least the triple question mark or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. It feels pretty clear to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think him saying no, that wasn't you is supposed to be, we the audience.
Denial.
It's supposed to be that, yeah, denial and kind of an irony. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, was that's dramatic irony when we know something and the character doesn't. Is that
I think so.
okay?
I could be
Or
wrong.
something? Well, that then, yeah, I don't know if he doesn't know it or if he's in denial or not.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think unless there's anything you want to talk about that episode, we can move on to the next one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Get what we can.
Okay. Yeah, so we already talked about Reagan's grift seance and
hmm
all that. He wore a different tie this time. Pastel
I,
pink is not uh great for seances, I guess.
I did not pay attention to that.
I always pay attention to when characters wear anything else. Like Mob was wearing like a pink sweatshirt in that scene too.
hmm
And it's like, oh, look at you not wearing your school uniform.
hmm
Must be the weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I liked when that we have this whole shadow leader plot line going on with Onigawara trying to figure out who defeated Teru.
hmm
Um I love Musashi's description of Mob as a gentleman with quite a distaste for violence.
Quite a distaste for violence. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, and then it's interesting that so Mob in universe is notoriously hard to read by other people. Dimple describes him as such. Yet Musashi understands that Mob is fighting with himself.
Yeah. That's another thing I like.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing that he's able to read that from Mob.
hmm
So we get a little bit more Misato this episode, camera girl.
Right. Yeah. She talks to Mob for a minute.
Yeah, just for a minute, just like one, just her knowing that, oh yeah, that's got Mob written all over it. I'll
Yeah.
grill him about that. And then Tomei overhears that and is like, oh, you can figure out where other psychics are because there are apparently others.
hmm
Um and that's when we get Reagan's explanation as to why Mob can't feel any psychic powers from him. So those
Right.
powers, they're not religious. They're spiritual.
Right. Yeah. He's not psychic. He's spiritual.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's an interesting explanation that
hmm
Reagan has for himself.
Right.
then uh then we have the kind of inciting incident for the rest of the episode, and that's how Onigawara went to go apologize to Mob,
hmm
but because of his overall demeanor and language and Mob's body language, Ritsu's like, oh no, my brother's getting bullied.
Oh yeah. And then Ritsu goes to the student council and kind of proposes a plan that they
Yeah.
discipline students that are boorish, I guess, in that way.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's the inciting incident for that, and uh, yeah,
Then
they
this other guy comes in, the student council president guy, right?
yeah, Kamuro.
And he has similar in- inferiority complex problems with his brother.
Yes, the character parallels, man.
Yeah,
And he's got a really great depression room going on.
yeah,
Oh man,
that's
let me.
exactly what they were like in the 30s.
Okay.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I know. Well, because like back when peak pandemic times, I was using TikTok a lot, and
hmm
I saw many of those rooms.
Just with like trash bags everywhere.
Well, usually not in bags, just a floor of trash.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
kids were not all right.
kids were not all right. Still aren't.
Yeah, yeah. Those peak pandemic time. Maybe some of them have cleaned their rooms by now.
Maybe.
But
But yeah,
yeah. So yeah, we got two guys with inferiority complexes taking the school by storm.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the only good things can come from this, of course.
hmm
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And so
I got some good laughs out of their plan there.
Yeah, the recorder plan.
Yeah, that the conceit of this is that they had people believe that Pompadour Man was licking the heads of recorders
Yeah.
because I guess that's hot. I don't know.
Yeah, to get his sick kicks. Well, he watched too much Mysterious Girlfriend X.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that, and that was strange.
Yeah.
What a strange anime. Why did I watch
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But, yeah, that's, yeah, what a plan, like, because I remember when, because I pause a lot when I'm watching things, so I had time to mull this over. I thought that they were just gonna accuse him of stealing things, and I
Right.
thought
Yeah. Yeah.
that was enough to, uh, frame somebody, but no, they had to they had to add this really strange angle, and it's just like, I feel like, Shinji Kamaro, you are, like, reporting on yourself here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You think that's his sick kick?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like you wouldn't think about you wouldn't think that up unless you thought that yourself, right? Maybe I don't.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. What a what a strange scene. I remember getting to this episode and being like, where are we going?
Yeah.
We just had, like, again, what you said was probably your favorite episode so far, and I
Yeah.
get to this one and I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah. I mean, the drama of the scene was very good, though.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
it definitely is one, and I like this all more in retrospect and all that. But
Right.
I just remember getting to this part and being like, "What is this?"
It was like once I hopped on board, I guess, with the concept. You know
Hmm.
that. Yeah, they're framing him for licking recorders. Okay, I can
Yeah,
move
yeah,
past
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Let's get into the drama, and I enjoyed the drama very much. It was very cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. With yeah, just everything here.
Hmm.
uh, him, grabbing Ritsu by the collar, and Ritsu being able to be like, "Oh well, violence, can't do that."
You can't do a violence.
No.
Yeah, that was there was also a great little part of that scene where like he looks to this girl that like had a crush on him at some point
Hmm.
to believe him to take his side, and she doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Hit some. I love the anime trope of having a big word come out and hit
Oh,
you.
yeah, I love a yeah, a nice big word on screen, that's always
Yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah, just slamming right into him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was really good.
Because sometimes it feels like words are
They can knock the wind right out of you. So we get Mob spotting an Esper,
hmm
while out with, Tomei, and he decides not to tell her about him
right, right.
because
And
he's,
then
did not pass the vibe check.
yeah, yeah. And then we also have the millionaire guy, I guess, that's
Yes. Yeah.
trying to create espers.
Yeah, Mitsura, Kenji
Hmm.
Mitsura, I believe his name is. Yeah, he's mistaken Ritsu for Mob,
Hmm.
and invites him to go see if he can unlock some powers.
Right, right.
And then we get four kids with or five kids, five kids with like the lamest
Yeah,
psychic powers possible.
yeah. Or at least like very, very weak versions
Yes.
of potentially cool psychic powers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like the twins and their telepathy together, I feel like that was probably the most uh impressive of those.
Yeah, yeah. I mean
If I had to
that
rank them.
it's usable, but like the idea is that if they were able to strengthen those powers, those would be cooler.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe besides the clairvoyance one, that one was just kind of dumb.
Well, I mean, clairvoyance is like being able to predict things or whatever. If you strengthen that, you would be able to predict just about anything.
Right. But it sounded like so for some of the kids, like the fire kid,
Hmm.
he could produce a small little flame.
Yes.
This girl could guess correctly 62% of the time, which is like maybe that's just how often an average person would be able to guess the card correctly.
Yeah, I don't know if they had a control group or not. You might be right, but if she truly is clairvoyant, she could train it, right?
Right. But that one was the most ambiguous one to me.
Yeah,
Like, is that
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
power?
Yeah, you're right. True.
You might just like be more lucky than the average person.
Yeah, well, that's why we have control groups, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. They did not test that very well.
Yeah. Because if you're a clairvoyant, I mean, would it? Why would it only work 62% of the time? I don't know.
Well, just really weak clairvoyant.
I guess so.
The future is muddy,
Yeah.
so
But
not a lot of precision.
in that case, if the future is muddy, then it's like, is she just guessing?
Right. I'm gonna like buy what the show is selling and say that she has clairvoyance, but just very very weak.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of do you know why spoons are so associated with psychics?
Um, I guess I know that for some reason there exists a trope that psychics in the real world are able to bend spoons with their mind.
Yeah, that came from Yuri Geller.
Uri Geller.
Yeah, he was a psychic, I believe, back in like the 70s, I want to say.
Hmm.
Big famous guy, he was fake, of course, but he was famous for bending spoons on TV.
Okay. Yeah, bending spoons on TV.
Yeah, bending spoons on TV, and let me see here. I wrote this down. I meant to bring this all up in like episode 1. But so you know Alakazam, the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, its Japanese name is Young Geller.
Oh, okay.
And Pokemon got into like a lot of legal trouble for using essentially his likeness.
Mm.
So they weren't like allowed to make cards or something for a while there, and he dropped the lawsuit like fairly recently. I can't remember when, but yeah. So that's why like all the psychics and Pokemon use spoons, and why uh, Kadabra and Alakazam use spoons.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's why Ritsu is so fixated on gotta bend those spoons, man.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got like a lot from Ritsu this episode. A
Hmm.
lot more of
Yeah,
him
yeah.
than previously. Uh
He be
we had him.
struggling.
Oh, he is absolutely struggling. Well, and then, and then freaking Vice President Tokugawa had to
Hmm.
just like call him out like in the streets.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be like your brother.
Hmm.
Yeah, like man, just so precise and
In the streets.
just right in the streets. You can't just give a guy an existential crisis right at the crosswalk. You can't do
Hmm.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just destroying him with such accuracy. So yeah, that's what sets him off to go join the Awakening Lab and
Hmm.
take part in the recorder licking accusations.
As one is wont to do. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Don't we all accuse somebody of licking recorders at some point in our lives, It just
Yeah.
happens. It just happens.
It's a rite of passage, really.
Oh yeah, you can't get out of school without doing that. And then, already having kind of a bad day, Ritsu returns home and Reagan has to show up.
Mhm.
And you think maybe he's being cold to Reagan because he's having a bad day, but then Reagan says, oh, giving me the cold shoulder as usual.
Oh, yeah.
So they've met before, it seems.
And he does not like Reagan.
Yeah, not very much, it seems.
Yeah.
He's hitting them with some sarcasm of, oh, then you go exercise at Reagan.
Mhm. Interesting. Yeah, do you think he knows that Reagan's a sham?
I think he certainly thinks that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone does, it seems. Except for Mob.
Everyone does, yeah. Uh, yeah, and Reagan is out there to exorcise a certain ghost. And we find out that or at least I think we're supposed to put together that ghost is Dimple.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is
Yeah, I mean, we saw Dimple
yes.
at the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that the connection between the case that Reagan is on and seeing Dimple at the end there.
Right. I guess I didn't pull that together in the moment.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that's how the episode ends is with Ritsu seeing Dimple.
Yeah. Yay,
Yeah.
Dimple's back.
Yay.
We all said.
Yeah, let's all celebrate. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, make sure you're watching like post-credit scenes. They don't always happen, but they happen I think a lot more in these next few episodes.
I have been, yeah.
Okay, good.
I've been watching to the next episode thing. The next time on.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so you've been hearing Reagan telling you to buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so what is the name of the next episode? Next episode is called Exaltation. I've obtained loss.
Sick.
Yeah, sick stuff.
Mhm.
Any predictions or things you want to see happen or
I would like to see Mr. Dimples get exercised again.
again?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
Maybe
he
more.
will. Maybe maybe they will. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up about the episode?
If it was, I lost it over 4 hours of technical difficulties.
Yeah, we've had a rough time today. But I think we hit like all the points I wanted to hit this time.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we're making it happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Podcast and Such. Next week we'll be covering episodes 7 and 8. And we will see you next time.